How we doing? Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday morning. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast here on Facebook and YouTube. I am Richie, also co-host of Talking New York. With me, as always, damn near always, my main man, my co-host, Mr. Idris Salam, aka Bosco from the Bronx. How you doing today?
I want a Sunday kind of love, the kind of love that lasts. I can't sing, y'all. I'm a producer. What's up, y'all?
Hey, hey man,
I'm
Kanye
getting my
can't rap.
dot.
He made a lot of money. Yeah, I said what I
I'm
said.
get. I'm getting my Don Meredith. You know. What's up, man?
Bro, Jay-Z, I think Jay-Z's back, Idris. We're gonna hit on that.
Hey.
He showed up at a Roots picnic performance and
hmm
really ripping on people ranging from Mr. West to Drake to Nicki Minaj to Dame Dash, his former partner in crime with Rockefeller Records, which is now Rock Nation. Um,
Yep.
the
My bad.
the Knicks have an opponent now.
Yes. A
The Knicks
familiar
have
one.
an opponent, a very familiar one. 1999, back at it. San Antonio Spurs, New York Knicks going to lock horns for game one in just a couple of days. Um, is it the beginning of the Wemby era? We're going to hit on that. Um,
hmm
win streak to a halt last night, but ever so close to making yet another comeback. We're going to hit on them as well. Um, OBJ at the Brian Burns Celebrity Softball event
Hey,
organized by
hey.
none other than Giants superfan Joe Ruback, aka license plate guy. You know what? Let's start there. Then we'll hit into the NBA. Idris, we know about these injuries. You know, Malik Neighbors really taking a while. He had another cleanup on that knee. Of course, Darius Slayton out with the sports hernia. And we've got Gunnar Olszewski, who is the Giants kick and punt returner, also out of the
hmm
mix now, unfortunately, torn Achilles. Odell's in the area. Some friends of mine on social media posted up, taking some cool pictures with him, rocking their
hmm
OBJ jerseys from his run with Blue. Is this the time, and is this real, or is this just yet another kind of, over promotion for something that just will never happen again?
I think this is real. I mean, we lost Gunner, and Gunner was just all you can do guy. You know, he can catch passes, he can run back kicks, he can get on special teams and block and tackle. So we lost a great special teams guy and a good guy. But right now, I think now is the time because Hyatt has shown us nothing. Slayton is hurt. You know, Malik Neighbors, he still has the knee issues. We don't know what we got. Bring in the veteran. Bring him in. We got a roster spot. We don't need Hyatt. Bring him in. Bring him in. Bring him in.
I share your sentiments, Idris. I do believe that this is actually the time that it is indeed real, that he
Yeah.
is indeed coming back. Um, and it's not just because he's in the area, it's a different energy. And,
Mhm.
normally when players are not necessarily part of a potential future plan, you don't have a
Mhm.
head coach that's consistently still keeping it alive and promoting it. Now, you know, um, Doug Rush, who does a great job of
Yeah.
always informing Giant fans of what's happening.
Right on.
Mention names like Debo Samuel, former
Mhm.
Giant Sterling Shepard, who's been able to produce at a decent rate in Tampa.
Mhm.
Of course, that wasn't part of Tampa's plan. Injuries and such
Right.
opened up the door for Shepard to compete. Shepard has done well. Of
Yep.
course, Odell, it's impossible for him not to be mentioned. And, these
Mhm.
are all formidable guys that at one point or another were in between dominant Pro Bowl status and just really
Mhm.
good. But I do
Yep.
believe that one of those guys potentially will be joining this Giant team soon. And there are others as well.
Yeah.
I also believe that if you bring in Odell,
Mhm.
Calvin Austin now gets moved to possibly be the special teams guy because that's a place where the Giants are going to be hurting because Gunner was very reliable.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I hate it for the kid because I mean, God, I mean, he's made the roster, dude, and
Just bad
he's
luck,
seen
man.
our bad. He's seen our bad, and he's there. He comes and plays, man. So it's messed up for the kid. He's a good player, man. So
Yes, indeed.
I think now is the time, dude. It's just like Sterling Shepard. I would like to have him back because he's one of those guys. He wasn't a great player for us, but he was a good. He was a good locker guy. He was good. He was decent. He was serviceable, and I think a guy like him, the good Giants. I love to bring the good Giants back, and he's a
He's
good
number
Giant,
4. He jumped Jeremy Shockey
right?
in his final game as a member of the New York Giants, a dominant win over the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah,
And
injuries hurt him. The injuries, man. That injury he had a couple of years ago, it hurt him, man. It took away his production, man.
and
And
one wide receiver coach, Aaron Moorhead, did see it on my Instagram story the very next day, that
oh,
Monday morning. This is back at
what?
23, and
Uh-huh.
I'm just gonna say that I don't know what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna say he saw it. That's all. Aaron, you saw it. You saw it live, and then you saw it the next day on my socials.
Come
I'm
back on the
sorry,
show,
it is
light
what it
skin.
is.
Come back on the
Oh
show, man. You
Lord,
might as well come back on the show before the Giants win the Super Bowl. Come on, fam.
oh Lord, oh man, that's that family trash talk right there. I like the idea of Odell coming back, not because I'm on some kind of nostalgia chase. I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly believe that if John Harbaugh believes in his ability to help the team, then there is
yeah.
something left. And the last year that you could point at Odell and look at anything that he really did that was
Hmm.
worth praising was 2023 in Baltimore. They did
Right.
lose the title game that year. And a maturity thing that I have seen in Odell over the past years, when he
Oh
was with
yeah.
the Rams, they beat the 49ers for the title game, rights to go
Hmm.
to the Super Bowl, play the Bengals. Before celebrating with his teammates, I saw Odell consoling a defeated and distraught Debo Samuel, who at the time was Mr. Everything for the 49ers. This is, of course, the
Hmm.
pre McCaffrey era for Frisco. That showed me a lot of
Hmm.
maturity. Then
Yeah.
you see him a couple of years later in Baltimore. Zay Flowers made a very critical mistake, as did Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Odell consoling his teammates, keeping
Yeah.
it positive, not really trying to be the guy, so to speak, and all kinds of stat hungry. And I think what I'm trying
Right.
to say, Idris, is while he may not be the player that he once was, and indicators of that is what he was not able to do while he was in Miami,
Yeah.
I always feel that every great athlete still has one little last jolt. And this
Yeah.
could potentially be that for Odell because there is something to be said about certain players and how they play in certain environments. And there's not much bad to say about his production when wearing a blue uniform.
Right.
He was on a pace where some of the greatest receivers were going to start
Mhm.
looking behind before the injuries took their toll and some of the off the field shenanigans too. I don't think when I say off the field shenanigans, this is not on the
Yeah.
level of violence or vehicular
Oh,
things or alcohol, drug related things. We're talking more about
right.
like distraction, young guy
Right.
things.
Right.
But I do think
Exactly.
Odell has matured to the
It's
level
just,
where he could be a decent mentor.
I agree. I agree. And like me, you spoke off air. It reminds me of Jameis, because Jameis in his younger years, he was just wasn't responsible and just reckless. And I see with Odell, we're not getting Odell when we got him. We got Odell the champion. We got Odell the mature guy who learned from a lot of mistakes. And I think he can come to the team, if anything, even if he doesn't get the numbers, maybe even if he gets like 40 catches, he can come to the team because I know he wants to come back to New York because he still has a brand and he knows he's at the end of his career. I think
And
he
at
can
the end
come
of the
back
day, he
and
could still run the
yeah,
routes, bro.
right. And that's the one thing he was great at, running routes. He can run a route. And once he got the ball, that's what he had to worry about him. It wasn't him getting open, it's him getting the ball. And I think with him, he could bring a lot of leadership, just like Jameis. And like we
And
spoke
I'm not going to
offline.
sit here and tell you, I'm
Mhm.
not going to sit here and try to tell you
Yeah,
that he's going to be a top 3 guy on the squad. but
Right.
nobody's going to be able to convince me that he's not good enough to make a roster. And it's a complex one because this guy who competes at the highest level when he was right.
Yeah.
And being a fifth receiver might not be good enough for what he wants. And I understand that too. But something tells me because it's the Giants, he's
Yeah.
going to find a way to make some kind of positive impact on this team. And a funny thing about sports, whether it's the Yankees, how Aaron Boone recently said, things have a way of working themselves out. In the beginning of the year, Paul Goldschmidt couldn't get an at bat. Now
Right.
he's one of the best players in the lineup. When Ben Rice
That's
had that
not
little hand
rude.
thing, yeah,
Goldie's my
the Caballero
man.
Volpe
Yeah.
saga. I think it's
Yeah.
been proven that you need both of them in the lineup to be the most dangerous because
Yeah.
I'm a person that I want a versatile lineup. Now I love G, don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but do I think the Yankees are a better team sometimes when G's not in that lineup, clogging up a spot and he has no versatility? Yeah, and it's not a knock on him. I'm just being honest.
Right.
But back to the Giants. I personally think he's going to be signed
I
post
believe
June
so.
1st. It's happening. I think there's too much coincidentals that he's in the area. He's interacting with people that supported him a decade or so ago. You
Yeah.
know, recognizable Giant fans that you always see making the trips. Some of them are friends of ours on social media. Some of them we talk about the season with, whether on Messenger and whatever way we communicate. But some of your
Hmm.
best Giant fans, spotted, taking pictures. It's really a cool thing to see. And I also think it's a way of Odell making it right with a lot of people because one thing that I think most people could agree on, Odell
Hmm.
doesn't like the way he left.
No,
Hindsight's
he
forever
doesn't.
going to be 2020. And I,
Right.
even though the Giants felt that they needed to deal him, and it's funny how things work.
Yeah.
Dexter Lawrence was the main piece that we got for him. Dexter Lawrence just got traded. Things have a propensity of coming full circle.
And also with Odell, and I'm I'm not trying to put this on the Knicks thing, but you know, you see how Knicks fans, you see how former Knicks players, you see how everyone is coming back and supporting the team. Even the players who are on the Knicks teams who weren't that good, you know, everyone's coming back. And when you look at Odell, when he retires, what uniform can he say that he was really okay? He got a Super Bowl with the Rams, but will he go down as one of the greatest Ram players? You want to go down as a New York Giant. You didn't win, but he comes back to New York as a leader, like Jameis. He come back to New York as a leader. I mean, he wants to retire. He doesn't want to. He does not want to retire. He does not want to retire a Raven, nor a Brown, nor a Dolphin. He wants to retire a
Oh,
Giant.
more than not
Bring him
wanting to
home.
retire, Brown, he never wanted to be there. And Dave
He didn't want to
Gettleman,
be there. Yeah,
right, wrong, or
go him home.
indifferent, sent a message because he said, "Okay,
Yeah,
bro, you wanna talk smack? We just gave you 90 mil. You want to show up with Little Wayne?" And Little Wayne at the time was white hot. He was the biggest rapper
yeah,
in the world at the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
Josina Anderson with her controversial interviews, she was white hot in what she does for a living. She's still a
yeah.
big deal, but back then she was like white hot.
She was flaming. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think people mature.
yeah.
I am I a better version of myself now than I was 10, 12 years ago? I certainly hope so. But I
Yeah.
think, and I have an understanding that people mature on their own time, but I think this is going to work out if the Giants decide to go that route. We got Roland Dog in the comments. Salute Idris Bosco. Good to be here. I guess you
What's up,
guys talk about
Roro?
New York Giants. I'm more than, oh, he's a Jet fan. Okay. I get it. No
Okay.
worries. Adore New York teams. You make me feel connected. Well, appreciate that.
Yeah, no
Well,
doubt.
Roland, get in the comments. Man. What do you think about your Jets?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about your Jets? I personally think that they made a concerted effort
Hmm.
trying to get some weapons, but I will say this. When you got Geno Smith as your starting quarterback, I feel that it's kind of like conceding to get into the top couple of picks to have a chance at
Yeah.
an Arch Manning, somebody in that stratosphere, because the Jets, man, oh man, I said this on a recent show. Not sure if you were with us,
Hmm.
but when you go back to how close they were to the Super Bowl back in 12, excuse me,
Yeah.
back in 9 and back in 10,
That's
it
yeah.
was the quarterback position that held this team back. And we know that Brett Favre
Right.
went to Minnesota because he was obsessed with getting back at Green Bay. And the oddity of it all is that if Favre just would have stayed put, he and Aaron Rodgers would have probably played in the highest rated Super Bowl ever because of the student pupil kind of thing. But I don't know, man. The Jets have been down for a long time, and I was one of the advocates that felt that they should have possibly thought about giving Rex Ryan another shot because they haven't been right since that man left.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's crazy. And listen, I've never hated the Jets. Of course, they're our little brother rival, a crosstown rival. We talk our shit about them, But I never hated the Jets, I never hated them. So, yeah, it's like, I wish them well. New York, it's not, but with the Mets, forget the Mets. But,
Yeah, Roland, absolutely, bro. Just reach out. Just reach out, bro. Reach out via YouTube. Reach out. It's Richard Hicks Jr. on Facebook. We got the podcast page on Facebook, Richard Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. Talker New York, we're on that. Just hit me in any of those messaging columns, and we'll get you on the show if you want to join one day.
Yeah, no doubt. Oh, no doubt. We love bringing fans on, man.
We appreciate the shout, man. That's part of our mission here is that we try to keep our listeners in tune, and we want our listeners to feel involved and feel that we relate. And we also want you guys to never be afraid to be like, we want you to talk about this. So I appreciate all of that, bro.
Yeah, because
have a good work week, bro. For real, have a good work week.
Yeah, because fans want to talk. Fans want to talk. Fans want to, fans want to get their opinion on the team. And you can't go on ESPN because they got their little nonsense, their little games playing. And come on the show, man. This is like Barstool, man. We talk sports, man, and we have fun doing it. And
no doubt, man. Life is really serious, and that's why lately a lot of the political things getting involved with all the sports things. That's part of the reason why I've been like kind of ornery with it. Not that I'm ever afraid to talk about politics, but I'm like, guys, so many of us, and I can't speak for everybody, but so many of us turn to sports to get distracted off of the seriousness of life, whether it is politics that might be having you depressed, whether it's the economy, whether it's the gas prices, whether it's just family life, personal things going on.
Yeah. Sports is our getaway. Either sports or music,
Yeah, music plays a good role for me as well. Couldn't agree more on that one.
Yeah, so come on the show, bro. When you got some people want to come on the show, hey, we can have a whole round table. We get down. So
yeah, we're all right. We're gonna shift our attention to the NBA here. All right. Wemby time. Knicks have a tall hurdle to climb. I didn't mean to rhyme, but I did. All right.
Hey, that's bars, man. Kick some bars.
Hey, novice bars. I'm a fan more than anything. All right. Victor Wembanyama, Idris. This guy makes a lot of things look easy, but he also still shows some of his young, immature tendencies. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Like that little it almost looked like a karate chop on Williams yesterday. Man, Williams looks like John Legend, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Hey, doesn't he?
If John Legend had braids or dreads like that, is that dude. I was dying. I said, man, John Legend got 9 boards. I had Wemby to win the rebound battle. It was part of my parlay, and John Legend's lookalike prevented that from happening. But it was kind of the way they were playing offense too. Wemby was hanging out on the wing a lot, at the top of the key a lot. But what really, I said it on my short, I'll say it here. I think what really was the swing point in this game is San Antonio's ability to just hit so many shots from beyond the arc. Julian Champagne, that's what Reggie Miller and co call him. In the pregame, you know how similar to Sunday Night Football, the players say their names?
Yeah.
He said Julian Champagne. So I'm like, what is your name, dog? How do you
But
pronounce
you,
this?
but you know something, Richie? And we spoke about this off air. What if his name is Champagne, but he's like, nah, I like champagne.
Well, it's a
You
time to
know,
like champagne because if one of these
exactly.
teams win four more games, there's going to be a lot of champagne.
Yes. The
And,
big six,
Coach
baby.
Greg Popovich has to be proud because he built a winning culture in San Antonio that is being
Yeah.
extended now with this new era of Spurs basketball. Wemby had a
Yeah.
phenomenal series. That's not to be denied. But last night, it was about the support level guys, the 2 through 5, 2 through 6. I mean, bro, Cornette getting up, blocking
Yeah.
Isaiah. And I'm sorry. Listen, I
Likely, yeah.
liked Isaiah
I
Hartenstein
did. Yeah,
as a
I mean, well,
Nick.
I'm trying to say this. Yeah.
But Cornette, bro, you talk about a strategic block, the way that he made sure he didn't get no part of Hartenstein, even the way he
Yeah.
was landing, that was impressive.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Cornette has experience playing in some big time playoff games as a member of the Boston Celtics.
Hmm.
But that shows you the depth of a team and how guys, Wemby was battling foul trouble. He's on the sidelines. He's standing up. He's fired up. You saw the raw emotion when they
Yep.
won this game. And I got to tip my hat to this year's MVP,
Hmm.
SGA. There is nothing that he could have done more to sway the turn in this game. I think Caruso played his heart out. Caruso definitely veteran mind tricks, messing with Stephon Castle.
Yeah.
But truthfully, I don't view Caruso as a dirty player. I view him as an old
Nah.
school player. There is
Old
a
school
difference
physical player. Yeah. Old school physical
because
player.
when he fouled, him going up to the rack, he also broke
Yeah.
his fall.
Yeah.
And that's a playoff foul in my opinion. And I know that some of the young guys in the league they get pissed off with that, but did you prevent him from scoring? I know that
Right.
a prime Shaquille O'Neal used to be subjected to that all the time, but that was more because of his free throws
Yeah.
and because of the fact that he was stronger than everybody on the court.
Yeah.
But Caruso gets a shout out from me. He played his heart out. SGA, like him or not, he played his heart out. And the real GOAT, and I don't mean greatest of all time, I'm not talking about the GOAT of the game, is Chet Holmgren. 1 of 2 from the field, bro. What are we doing here?
I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Well, that's what we do here, but I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on SGA and the whole team. I looked at the stats. I'm a stat guy, and SGA guy is dope. I'm not gonna front. He has a hell of a game, but I
Yes, he
looked at the
does.
stats on him, and when he doesn't get those floppy fouls, he struggles.
Yes.
When he doesn't get to the foul line, he came up yesterday. He came up big last night. But if you look at the other games, he came up rather small. He shot poorly. I mean, he didn't look like an MVP. See, he keep
I'm
it
going to
real.
call that Isaiah Hartenstein, too, former New York Knicks, because
Yeah,
Hartenstein
veteran.
came up super small a couple of years ago in a game 7. Unfortunately, a game 7 where Jalen Brunson broke his hand.
Yeah,
Um, we would have lost anyway in that game. It wasn't our day. But
right.
Hartenstein, this is the second time in 3 years that I've seen him
Yep.
come up hella small in a game 7. And when I consider the kind of money that the Oklahoma City Thunder were able to give him, which was more than the Knicks were able to offer,
Hmm.
I'm like, listen, I liked him, but I'm good with it. I'm happy that we
Yeah,
kept Mitch. I associate Mitch with more of the team culture of what we try to do.
yeah.
And
Because we're not looking for Mitch to score 10, 15, 20 points. We're looking for
no,
him to make, block shots, get rebounds, throw out some assists, that other stuff.
if he scores 6 to 10 points on any given night, it's a bonus. And you
It's a
can account
bonus.
sometimes for 2 to 3 of those coming via
Yeah,
the alley oop. And you hope that if he's at the line 7, 8 times, maybe he hits one of them.
yeah,
Maybe he hits
exactly.
3 of them. I personally think, I don't know, have the stats in front of me, but I personally think he shoots better on the road from the free throw line. I know the
Yeah,
Garden faithful try to uplift him, but sometimes I think that it's such a mental thing, more so when he's home.
yeah,
I have nothing. I
yeah,
have no stats to go off on this. I don't need to. I just know he's a horrible free throw shooter, but I do feel
yeah,
that he shoots the ball better on the road.
yeah, yeah.
But
I
above
think
the
it's the
rim,
pressure being at
that's
home.
been a big part of what they do. And I hope that, the world's most talked about Pinky in the last 7 days, I hope that I just hope that he's able to perform at an acceptable level because if he's not, Huck Porty is ready. And I think Huck
Yeah,
Porty's ready for the expanded role if need be.
yeah, and Dara too. Yeah, and I do want to talk about that briefly to a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of non-Knicks fans who were crashing, who were just going off about him. I followed Nick. I followed Mitch on his Facebook account.
Yes.
Good guy, and it wasn't so much the finger. He's been going through a mental thing, and
Yes, indeed.
the way he is relaying it to some people, and a lot of us caught it. He's going through the mental stuff, but also with the finger being the way it was, that has affected him as well. He said like in a cryptic way, like he's done so much to get to where they are right now, and it's going to hurt him that he doesn't play, and that was part of the mental. So it wasn't so much like people think, oh, he should just tape it up and play. It wasn't that. It was the thought of not being able to play.
It was also the thought of not being able to be who he's supposed to be.
Right.
Because
And a
one
lot of
thing
people don't
about
realize
both
that.
these teams, one thing about
Yeah.
both these teams that are going to clash this week,
Right.
San Antonio and the Knicks have been the two best examples during these playoffs of family.
Mhm.
When you saw
Yes.
the way that the Spurs were hanging tough together,
Yes.
they had an intensity that OKC just could not match yesterday. Bottom line,
And
they could not match.
right. And San Antonio has been that franchise going back to when with Robinson. They are
Yes.
they are that franchise integrity of the whole league. So I'm glad they're in there. I'm glad that
No,
and it's
no,
a
no
tale of two
doubt. And
franchises.
even like old school ballers like a George Gervin,
Yes, the
you
Iceman.
know, the Iceman, you can finger roll, like
Yeah, yeah, that's all he did is finger
David
roll. Yeah,
Robinson made them wait because of his service to the Naval Academy. And it looked like
yeah,
David Robinson was going to be another player that you said, damn, he had a great career. He didn't get a ring. And then they go get Tim Duncan. And this is an
yeah.
interesting thing. How does the acquisition in the draft of Tim Duncan happen? Not without David Robinson having a bad injury. And a
That's
lot of
right.
people forget this. The year before they drafted Tim Duncan, you know who the
Yeah.
Spurs' best offensive player was? Dominique Wilkins.
Dominic Wilkins, an old
They
Dominic
were
Wilkins,
they were terrible.
an old
He's the
Dominic
last
Wilkins.
guy to wear number 21 for the Spurs prior to
Yep,
Timmy, but it got them Timmy. And then
yep,
I know that this term doesn't age well because of a tragedy, but at the time they were referred to as the Twin Towers.
yep.
And David Robinson and Tim Duncan were a lot. And that 99 Knicks team, it's weird. We talk about how things come full circle. Well, here's a
Yeah.
full circle thing. There was no Tony Parker yet on that Spurs team that beat the Knicks. A lot of people
Nope.
feel that the Knicks were not your typical 8 seed because it was an abbreviated season, and there was just so much off with that season.
Yeah.
The games were close. Patrick Ewing tears his Achilles in the Eastern Conference Finals game 1. He has the guts to finish the game and play at a
Yeah.
high level, but after that, Ewing was done for the
He's
season.
finished. Yeah.
Latrell Sprewell, broken metatarsal. Larry
Yeah.
Johnson had back issues.
Back in. Yep.
Chris Dudley gave you all he had, but what he had was nowhere damn near enough.
No.
Allen Houston was healthy. He had a nice series. The point I'm making is that series was close, and the Spurs were beatable because of the fact that they weren't the Spurs yet. This is the first
Yeah.
go around with Wemby, similar to
Yeah.
Duncan, similar to 99.
Yep.
You have some NBA people that cover the sport or just fans that feel that the Knicks are going to get ran over. You have some fans that think the Knicks are going to win. I'm not giving my prediction yet. We're going to do that ahead of game 1, but I will say this. This is going to be a damn good NBA Finals.
I agree. You got, like I said, you got to tell two fan bases. Us Knicks fans, we're rabid. We're crazy. We're loony. We're New York. So we are. That's just the one time New Yorkers show some emotion is doing sports. Everybody lives in New York. We mind our business. Get out my way. I got somewhere to go. Shut up. I don't care what you're doing. We don't care. That's the
Right.
feeling. But when it comes to our teams, our Giants, our Yankees, our Knicks, and everybody else, we lose it. And when we're winning, we lose it. To where San Antonio, they are the conventional fan base. You don't hear them breaking stuff and all this other stuff. They got a lot of class. Now, I'm not saying the Knicks fans are not classy, but you're talking about a big market, probably the biggest market in the world of
You
sports with the
have
most,
pockets of any fan base that are gonna act less than
yeah.
savory. Let's just say that. I've seen
And I'm one of
videos of
them.
Knick fans. I've seen videos of Knick fans punching at each other. I've seen some San Antonio
Yeah,
fans losing their shit.
yeah. I'm
When
one
you
of those
have
fans. I'm
that,
one of them Knicks
the
fans.
masses of people that follow a team, it's impossible to not have some that you're like, damn man,
Yeah.
I wish this wasn't on the internet.
Look, man, you guys don't know what I'm gonna do if we win the championship. So I'm gonna let you know. I am one of those fans that, yeah, that everyone hates. And if we win a championship, yeah. But I love it. I like it because these two fan bases respect each other. We've never had a beef
Right.
with the Spurs, and
Nah.
yeah, I'm gonna like it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I think this is the finals we needed. I think
Yeah,
this is the finals
I
we
share your
needed.
sentiments on that.
Yeah.
What's funny, right? Let's say hypothetically if OKC would have won, you
Yeah.
also have a little strange caveat that most people probably forget about or want to wash
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Who were the Oklahoma City Thunder before they were the Oklahoma City Thunder?
The Seattle Seahawks. Supersonics. Yeah, I'm thinking football. Let's go football.
Nah,
Seattle
yeah, right.
Sonics.
So the Seattle Sonics, who might be rejoining the league in the near future.
Yes.
Who did the Knicks
And
trade
I'm
Patrick Ewing to?
the Seattle Supersonics.
Right. So that would have been a weird one. No, it's not. It's not the same kind of hit if they're still the Supersonics. But I just thought that was kind of
Right.
something worth noting.
Yeah. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, about the Sonics. Like I lived out there when I was in the military in Tacoma, right down the street from Seattle. I pull for them. Although I was a Knicks fan, I pull for them. And if the Sonics come back, if they come back with the green and the whole thing, I'm a Knicks fan, and I will always be a Knicks fan. But I will root for them because I got a fondness for the city of Seattle. I loved it up there, and I always said if there was a city, other than outside of the East Coast, I would live. It would be Seattle. Seattle's a beautiful city, man. And I loved it. I was going to stay out there. I lived out there like 3 years after I got the military, and I was like, God, I love this city. But I miss New York, and I had to come home. Yeah.
Now,
But
speaking of missing New York, speaking of things coming full circle, speaking of nostalgia, speaking of what's happening right now.
mhm.
Yesterday, the Roots put on a show. None other than Sean Carter, S. Carter, Jay-Z himself, gets on stage. New look, picked out afro. He kind of looked like a supersized Easy E with his wardrobe.
I googled the picture when you told me that.
Am I right or am I
Dude, I
right?
fell out. Oh,
Am I
you are
right or
right.
am I right?
You are right. Right. You are so right. You went around to left. You are right.
All right. So why am I talking about Jay-Z in 2026 if it's not about who's doing the Super Bowl halftime show, or maybe if we want to complain that the Grammys might be a little altered or swayed or whatever? I'll tell you why. Because he got in the ass of Nicki Minaj, Drake, his former partner with Rockefeller Records, Dave Dash, among others. And
Yeah.
something that a lot of people don't understand about Jay-Z. I'm not saying he's better than Rakim or Nas, or I'm not
Right.
going to go there. But one thing that Jay-Z has always done at an elite level in terms of his
Yeah.
craft is that it's always one take, one take,
Yes.
one take. He's not a writer. He's not a
Right.
writer.
Right.
And
True.
for him to go in on the acapella, no beat, just talking his shit kind of moment,
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about some nostalgia and taking it back to the same era where it was Knicks and Spurs and all this is weird.
Yeah.
On I think it was the DJ Clue Stadium album,
Oh yeah.
where a lot of people forget that Jay-Z's original album of The Blueprint was supposed to drop on 9/11.
Yeah.
He backed it up a week. I had the album about a week before 9/11. I bought it off of a blue truck.
Oh.
The point to be made is that
Y'all, you guys Google the blue truck.
His
Big T.
intro, almost like in something that would be comparable to like the Lyricist Lounge.
Yeah.
His
Oh,
intro,
wait a minute. Wait a minute, Richie. What you know about the Lyricist Lounge? We're talking hip hop now, again.
yes, we are,
Hey, I haven't
and
heard that word.
that's where I'm trying to go with this.
Yeah,
Because you're going to have a lot of knuckleheads that get frustrated that Jay-Z's even opening his mouth.
yeah.
But for the fact that Jay-Z could be sitting on his ass for like the last, I don't know, decade. What's the last album he dropped? 444? I don't even remember.
444, and that's been quite a few years.
The
We're
point
talking at
is,
least 7, 8 years, maybe
is
longer.
that
It's been a while.
that Canadian actor that claims to be a rapper
Oh, that
wanted
guy.
to that guy. I'm not even dropping his. Oh,
Yeah.
you think that guy doesn't drop people's names? I'm not dropping his either.
Mm-mm.
He ain't even that
That guy.
important.
That
That
guy.
guy, that
That's it.
clown.
That guy. The
Anyway,
light skinned guy.
any anyway, Jay-Z went in on him talking about Dame's teeth falling out, talking about the
Yeah.
but the point is
Whew.
that sometimes I think people need a challenge, like when Nas was kind of dormant when
Yeah.
Jay-Z was going in on him. You know, Nas lost his mother. He was not
Yeah.
at a good competitive place. Because, you know, never forget, it's supposed to have always been about competition.
Yeah.
Um, it was cool. And I don't care if you think, and you're like, or like some ignorance is going to come in and be like, oh, you old heads. No, it's old G's. Let's get that corrected.
Exactly.
But Jay-Z can decide to put himself back in, and he immediately becomes relevant.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, there's a lot of people that might be hot for the moment that cannot do that. So for
And
whatever
also,
that's worth, that's where
yeah.
I'm going with that.
And with me, I'm not a big Jay Z fan. I'm not. I've never really was. I respect him and I like a lot of his music. I'm not a big, I'm more rock him, care. I'm more of that. However,
I haven't been involved with a Jay-Z production probably since Blueprint.
yeah, I like 444. I like a lot of
I,
stuff he did. I'm just not a big fan. But Jay Z is, and I don't care what you say about him. If you're a real hip hop head, you respect Jay Z. Jay Z is hip hop royalty. Now, what he did after becoming more corporate, so what? Jay Z is hip hop royalty. He's one of those guys who has a voice, and his voice needs to be heard. Period. Regardless of how you feel about him, he's one of the he's one of the pillars. So
like it or
yeah,
not, and he's one of the few that could go back to say working with Biggie. He's done stuff with Rakim, the Blueprint too. He's even done stuff with his former rival. Now they have a mutual respect for each other, Nas.
yes,
And I've said many, many times, and I'll say it here, I'll say it anywhere where somebody wants to listen to this.
hmm
There is no Jay-Z without an influence of a Big Daddy Kane.
exactly. And he was
And
see that, and that's
and
the thing
that's not
about
a
him.
knock. That's not a
No, it's
knock on
not.
him.
It's not. And with Jay, he respects the guys. He respects Big Daddy. He respects Rakim. He respects all the guys that came before him, who are with him. Da da da. So, like I said, I'm not a big fan of him. I like him. I respect him, but still, he's hip hop. Love him or
Now
not,
is there
he's
now
hip
is
hop.
there something similar to what Jay-Z did last night that he's been known to do when he's in some kind of a battle mode? I
It's
didn't really appreciate what he did at the Apollo after the
right.
death of Tupac Shakur.
Yeah.
However, I'm also not very proud this many years removed that Tupac went after anybody and everybody that was affiliated in any way, shape, or form with Big. So there's that too.
And see, people
Because
don't understand that, bro.
I think this many years removed, while people
Yeah.
feel very uncomfortable talking anything negative about the dead, I want to make this clear. When Tupac
Yeah.
passed away, I cried. That's why it got clear.
It hurt.
But but it doesn't mean that as a grown man looking back at my thoughts when I was a 15-year-old or whatever, that I agree with some of the tactics that Death Row or Tupac played in enhancing something that ultimately was very deadly.
Yeah.
and took two of the brightest stars that, what would these guys be doing now? What impact would they have now?
Well, Biggie
And,
wanted to do R&B, and no telling Pac was getting to more social, so Pac may not even. I see those two as in. I see them kind of like Jay. I think Tupac would have been more social, maybe drop an album here, drop an album there. I think Biggie would have been more R&B because he wanted to flip over to R&B. So I think music would have been different, man. I think everything would have been different.
I
And,
personally think,
mhm,
that the last time we really saw Tupac on TV,
yeah,
if we're not including the Mike Tyson fight,
yeah,
was the MTV Awards,
yeah,
where he had the picket signs behind him for Death Row East.
yeah,
Now we know that Eric B was kind of the middleman in hopefully trying to put an end to the East Coast West Coast beef,
yeah,
as Nas indicated in King's Disease, as well as other interviews that he and Tupac were interested in trying to find a way to put this down.
yeah,
And I personally believe that you now like okay, we saw this Diddy doc, right? How a
yeah,
lot of bad boy artists were being extorted.
yeah,
In no way, shape, or form would I have been mind blown knowing what I know now. If
yeah,
Biggie Smalls, aka the Notorious B.I.G., because he had to drop the Biggie Smalls name,
yeah,
and I don't want to get to that Notorious B1. What was his name? B1, the guy from
yeah,
that guy. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to get into
That's
that one.
another. That's another that guy.
Yeah. At any rate, I think that because of Big's displeasure with what was going on with Bad Boy and his
Yeah,
ultimate respect for Pac, because understand something.
yeah. He
To,
loved
to
Pac.
Big, Pac was a big brother.
Yeah, he
And
loved
when
Pac. He
brothers
really
beef,
did.
and when brothers beef,
Yeah,
does the younger brother show a little more, what's the word I'm looking for? Restraint. Would that be a fair statement? A lot of times when brothers
yeah,
beef,
yeah,
whoever's right or wrong, the one who plays
yeah,
the role of the younger one, do they have a higher propensity for showing more restraint?
yeah. Now
I
I
think
got
in
what you're
that
saying.
I think in that regard, Big was doing it, but it was a mixed bag. And
Yeah,
remember, guys, 24 and 25 years old, respectively.
right.
So it's not
Yeah,
like either one of them was doing the right things. Like when Big goes to LA and he's on the radio station and he's basically blurting out the verses for Long Kiss, that
yeah.
pissed off a lot of people because
It did.
no matter how you slice it, it
Yeah,
is in one way or another saying, I'm still here. I won.
yeah,
He's gone. I'm not.
yeah,
And anybody that can
yeah,
listen to the subliminals on that, and people can
yeah,
talk about hit him up all day long.
yeah,
That this was much colder than hit him up because Biggie did that with just you know, uh ointment man, lube man just talking in the background there.
yeah.
Mr. Costco, buy your baby oil. All he was
Right.
doing was just shooting this shit in the background. But Biggie, that was cold. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't get spoken about enough in hip hop beefs. Like
Yeah,
everybody wants to talk about No Vaseline from Ice Cube, or everybody wants to talk about the Dre Day song from the what was that from
yeah.
the Chronic album, I believe,
From the Chronic.
or
Yeah,
Snoop, yeah, from the Chronic.
yeah,
But people feel very uncomfortable, or at least maybe now a little more not as uncomfortable, talking about how Easy E basically lined up the whole death row roster and shot them all down.
yeah,
But people somehow forget about that, or how
yeah.
Easy
Of
E
course.
goes on our studio and saying every time these studio gangsters do something, I'm getting paid.
Yeah, he said that. Yep. People forget
Easy
about
E
that.
told Easy E told us about Calvin Brodus being an informant long before he was.
Exactly.
And I'm
And
gonna
Easy
drop the
E,
mic.
people don't realize, Easy E was like MC Hammer. Wasn't a
Yeah,
real good lyricist, da da da. But when you look into their background, they were some of the realest street guys you could, people don't realize MC Hammer don't get the flashy pants and the dancing fool you. MC Hammer was probably one of the most gangster guys in the game at that time.
and while we're on
People
the
don't realize.
topic, since this is a sports podcast,
Yeah,
MC Hammer was a very good baseball player.
very good baseball player.
The
People
Oakland
underestimate him.
Athletics, The Oakland
Yes.
Athletics, who had a very good run in the late '80s, early '90s behind guys like Canseco, Lansford, McGuire, that crew.
Yeah.
Um, Dennis Eckersley at the time, probably the best closer in the game. MC
Heck.
Hammer was a guy that they were interested in.
Yeah.
And to your point about
Yeah.
Easy E, yeah, I agree with you. He wasn't the greatest lyricist and things of that nature. He didn't write his
Yeah.
stuff. He
Right.
financed
Right.
NWA.
Exactly.
But when it comes to authenticity of what he was talking about and what he did, if you
Hmm.
look at the diss record towards Snoop Dre and Co. on
Yeah.
Real Motherfucking G's,
Yeah. Woo!
those are real gangbangers. Those are not actors.
Yeah. No,
No,
Easy E was the realest of the
this ain't
real.
no this isn't no studio bullshit. This isn't no
Mm-mm.
Hollywood bullshit. That was real.
Easy E was the like people think about NWA, Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre was never a gangster.
Come
He
on,
never a
bro.
gangster. You take that
Come
back
on,
to
bro.
World Class Record Crew. He never a gangster. Easy E
Bro,
was the
the
gangster. He
pick,
was the true gangster.
the pick that Easy E put of Dr. Dre on that song.
Uh-huh. I had that album, dude. I had that album.
Does anybody else regret their purchase of The Chronic now, as it is considered possibly the greatest album in hip hop history? I'm not
Right.
taking away from
And
what
he
its impact.
and he didn't write it. He didn't Dre didn't write it. That's the thing. The DOC and a few others wrote it. And that's what I'm saying. They
DOC
don't
is a
realize.
guy. DOC is a
Yeah.
guy that somehow gets forgotten in all of this.
Yes. He's the master behind a lot of Dre stuff, man. People don't realize that.
And
And had he not lost his voice, had he
Dre's a
not lost his
billionaire.
voice, man. Yeah.
Dre's a billionaire.
Hmm.
I actually have his headphones on my ears right now as I speak to you.
Yeah.
I'm not no Dr. Dre fan, but I'm not going to sit here and like try to
Yeah.
write him out of history or anything. I'm just giving people a brief little fact thing here.
Right. Exactly. And I think a lot of people forget that because they think about how much they hate this thing and like this guy. There's a lot of artists I don't really get down with. However, I respect them because of what they did.
I mean,
Like
you look at
Easy,
Africa Bambaataa, the guy, that's a legend.
yeah,
However, his
yeah,
his very checkered past is like, that's some tough stuff to accept.
yeah, yeah,
You look at, so many
yeah,
but then you look at the flip side of it. I'll tell you who I've always respected, and I'm not even talking about the music side of it. I'm talking about the real deal everyday stuff.
yeah,
I always respected a decent portion of the guys from Wu-Tang because I always saw them as so very down to earth.
yeah.
Like
I'm
I
definitely with
remember
that.
when
Yeah,
Method Man was doing like a documentary thing, and he was taking it back to his first job ever.
yeah,
He grabbed a broom out of the person's hand and started sweeping the floor, bro. That's Method Man doing that.
yeah. That's what
A
I
lot
mean,
of these
man.
guys Ghostface Killer, that guy knows where he's from. I always
Oh yeah,
respected Raekwon too. This is a competitive industry, and this is a time
yeah,
where you had guys like, particularly, uh, with Big kind of bringing the East Coast back. You had guys like
yeah.
Raekwon, Jay-Z, Nas, all vying for one title, and then DMX was not far behind.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I
So whatever
reckon
people think about Jay-Z, and
yeah,
it's always going to get complicated reactions and complicated opinions. One thing I will say is that, when he says he held you down for X amount of summers, and if you grew up in New York, believe me, guys, he ain't lying.
You know what I think people got an issue with Jay-Z about? And I disagree with the people how they say how he's made this money and he didn't do nothing for the community. However, Jay-Z, this is what Jay-Z's reply was, and I respect it. He said, like they wanted him to buy the project, Marcy Projects. This is what he said. He said, if I do that and I feed and do this to the people, they won't move. They'll stay
Uh-huh.
there because they'll get
Mhm.
comfortable.
Mhm.
He said, that's why. He said, I help people out. He said, but I'm not going to support anyone. He said, we still have to get up and do what we got to do. And by buying the projects and doing
He
this and doing
didn't
that,
he didn't get where he got by being lazy.
right. And that's what he was saying. And
None
I
of
agree.
these people, whether it be in the sports
No.
or or the entertainment realm did not
No.
make these absurd, and I mean absurd,
Hmm.
moves. Like, talk
No.
about overachieving without that legitimate hunger. And to Jay's point, there is legitimacy to that because you look at the unemployment rate in the country now. If you give people too much free stuff, they don't want to go to work.
They don't go nowhere. And and I'm not gonna, and I know people say, oh, black people, black. No, this is people of all colors.
Oh, you got that right.
People,
This
people
is
get
everybody.
complacent. People get complacent. I see people every day. Like when I was younger, when I was becoming a new father, I used to hear girls say, "I'm just gonna get me a check. I'm just gonna get me food stamps." And you hear that from people, black, white, whatever, and they get it. Like a lot of people in the hood, there's people who want to get out the hood, and I know a lot of people who are trying and working hard to get out. Then you have those who are just comfortable
Whether
because
it's
you're
the
paying
hood,
50. Whatever.
whether it's trailer
Yes.
parks.
Yeah, I mean, they're
What-
paying $50 rent. They don't want to leave that. Me, I pay a lot, but you know what? I pay a lot to have my own, you know? And
There's
that's
also
it. They
something
don't,
about self-pride and something
yeah.
that helps from a mental standpoint with self-worth.
Yes.
I mean, you even look at this podcast, for instance, and this
Yep.
is a small example.
Hmm.
There's opportunities a lot of times, and we're branching off, we're looking into all kinds of different things. But one
Yeah.
thing that I said to myself from day one when I decided to take this on is I have never been afraid of every small step and doing it the, how would they say, the long window kind of way.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you every little step of this process. I could tell you days where it's like another job. It's like there's days when you're like, damn man, I'm exhausted and I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
5 minutes
Yeah.
later, you see me in front of a camera. It don't matter if I'm in the truck. It don't
Right.
matter
Let's
if I'm
tie in with the mute. Yeah.
visiting
No, not
friends
good.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, because it's like anything else in life, Idris, whether you're a student that wants to achieve greatness academically to open up a job field. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome to be a lawyer. It's awesome to be a doctor. But a lot of
Yeah.
people are not willing to make the sacrifices that it entails.
That's it. And that's the problem. And that's why I didn't have a problem with Jay-Z not going because also those projects are owned by the city. Why do you want to buy that? Then you have to keep up the upkeep and the security and all this other stuff for people. And I'm not saying all because
And if you
people
let
think
the money go in the wrong hands, you're not really
yes,
doing what you want to do anyway.
it's money going down the drain.
I mean, brother, look at some of the most crime-ridden towns or cities in this country. That
Yeah,
should be clear and concise evidence of when you
yeah.
put money in the wrong hands, things don't improve.
It's about accountability. And like I said, with me, I tell people think I grew up in the hood. I didn't grow up in the hood. I grew up in a middle class neighborhood. However, I hung with the hood guys and I learned the street and I hung with when I was coming in the 70s, we had the OGs that came from the 50s and the 60s who did that real game. And that's where I learned my game from, you know. So when I got older, I was able to adapt, go into the hood. Yeah, yeah. Like people think I'm from the hood. I'm not from the hood. I never lived in the hood. I never lived in the hood. But
No, and I think
it's,
it
it's
comes to a pure. I think it comes to a pure ignorance, and now more than ever, how people have the shortest attention spans probably in the history of mankind.
yeah.
Um, when someone older is talking, I'm listening.
Listen, bro, I'm 61
Yeah,
years old. I love listening to people 67. Like your mom, I listen to your mom all day. 70. I listen. And I think that's the problem. A
yeah.
lot of people today don't want to listen. Now,
Nobody
I
wants to
salute
read
Jay Z.
anymore. Why do you think we get so much crummy information now? Nobody even wants to read
Nobody wants to
anymore.
read. They see the first, I don't know, first two paragraphs. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And sometimes they just read the headline. But the
Absolutely.
headline's just to catch you. It's just to
Or
catch
how
you,
people or
captivate
how
you.
people always got on these troll accounts,
Oh my goodness.
already
You
putting
know,
down emotional responses. Like there was one yesterday where
mm,
they got people good that Fernando Tatis had gotten suspended for PEDs again. Meanwhile, they
yeah.
put it's MLB on Facts, which is a parody account,
Hmm.
and they put
And
Francisco Tatis. Do I need to go any further about how lazy people are at reading? It was in the first damn line.
And you know something also about that with me, like when I'm on social media, maybe this is, I know we didn't got far away from the subject, but my thing is this, and I tell people now, if you're on social media, if you see someone's out of a profile photo, don't reply. Don't reply to them because that's a bot. That's a fake account.
Yeah, and anybody,
Look at
yeah,
look at the
it's bonkers. You
yeah,
you had
look
a run in the other day with some lady that thought that you were gonna leave the Giants fan base when
yeah,
you were making light of, hey, let me get my hands on some tickets for people that want to leave, and some people really do want to leave and really are going to do it. But the point I'm making is
mhm.
read, pay
And there's a few
attention.
people on there. A lot of guys are political guys. With that, I'm
Well,
like, look, I said, y'all so stupid. I said, I'm the one saying, if y'all gonna get rid of tickets, hey, I'll take them. We don't need those fan base. And that's certain people don't read. Like, dude, listen. And
yeah,
if
and
someone makes a comment,
unbeknownst to this idiot that's trying to call you out, unbeknownst
yeah,
to her, you have a relative that was drafted by the New York Football Giants that at an early age influenced which team you were going to root for the rest of your life.
exactly. Because I would have been a
And
Kansas City Chiefs fan had he not got drafted by the Giants. I'd
it's
have been a Chiefs fan.
comical. It's
It is.
comical. Like just the lack of paying attention, the lack of reading, the lack of details. I'm like, guys, do better. New York
And
Yankees yesterday, falling
yes,
short
yes,
late. Ryan Weathers a mixed bag. You know, he got some high stress point strikeouts early on. I thought he was gonna keep him in the game. Nick Kurtz,
yes,
big home run yesterday. Um,
yeah.
it's a loss. I like the way the Yankees are playing lately. This one doesn't have me down too bad.
Nah, we're coming up
I
a
think
5 game winning streak with some big wins, big point
they're playing
wins. So
better. On the whole,
yes,
the Yankees are playing better. And what's encouraging me is that even late in the game, they were taking quality at bats, drawing walks, applying pressure, and Scott Barlow can be
yeah,
rattled.
yeah,
I was disappointed that Jazz didn't put the ball, uh,
in play.
he kind of surrendered his at bat, so to speak.
Yeah,
But
didn't put the ball in play.
yeah, little flailing grounder. But the thing is that I like the way this team is playing right now on the whole, and
Yeah,
I think the Tampa Bay Rays are the one team in the American League that could stop the New York Yankees from going to the World Series for a
and they've
42nd time.
and they've always been the one team that we have a problem with. In their worst
They're
days,
good.
they always give us a hard time, dude. They always get, and Yankee fans, this every team has a nemesis. We don't hate the Rays, but they always give us a hard time. Always.
No doubt about it. I talked to former namesake of the show, Jordan Patrick. He's a diehard Rays fan,
Yeah,
and he kind of shares my sentiments. He feels that it's the Yankees and the Rays
yeah,
who probably will play in an earlier round than the ALCS because of the way that things break. But
yeah,
that to me is going to decide who wins the pennant this year. And there could always be somebody that emerges
yeah.
because you have the trade deadline, things of that nature. I will admit and concede that this is an off year for the American League. But having said
Yeah,
all that, I wholeheartedly believe that it's the Yankees or the Rays in the
I
American League
agree.
this year.
And, and Mr. Cash, not Cashman, Mr. Cash.
Kevin
That's how I like to
Cash.
call him. Yeah, I did call him Mr. Cash. Yeah, Kevin Cash. For people who don't know, we have a Brian Cash and we got a Kevin Cash. I mean, you got to take your hats off to him because I mean, God, they put a team together and
And
they don't have this enormous payroll,
and people forget he played for both organizations.
right?
He played for the Yankees and the Rays.
Hey,
And
so he
this is
knows.
something that I have said time and time again. Um, you could win with small ball. You could win with speed. You look at this thing with Giancarlo Stanton being injured, taking a
Yeah,
longer time than expected to get back. I
yeah.
personally believe that the Yankees deploy a more versatile offense when G is not in the lineup. I mean, I get it. When he's
Yeah,
on one of his hot streaks, he could really
mhm,
put a team on his back. But
yeah,
I'd rather have a team that's playing smaller ball. That's one thing I like about this Yankee team the last couple of years. They steal more bags.
yes,
But
yeah, yeah, yes,
we're going to be okay. And the reason we're going to be okay
I
and
think so.
possibly better than okay in October, we have the pitching. Carlos Rodon recently looking good. Garrett Cole looking
Yes,
real good. Cam
looking real
Schlittler is a
good.
Cy Young.
Yeah,
Cam Schlittler's a Cy Young candidate.
yeah.
we're in a pretty good place.
Yeah, I'm happy for Cam. He's another one of my favorite on the team. Of course, it's my man first. But
We got a week long. We got a week long of info to hit on for the NBA Finals, and we're going to do a super show the day of the first game. But I do want to ask you this: we know what Wemby brings, but who do you think are going to be the second and third guys, maybe even go now fourth guys, that are going to shape up this series and decide who wins this series? For the Knicks, it goes without saying it's Jalen Brunson as the main guy. Wemby
yeah,
probably for the Spurs, but who are the players for each side that you think the other team has to really account for and be like, whoa? Yeah, I'll tell you what, you drop a name from either team and I'll drop a counter.
oh man, I'm trying to figure the Spurs. I'm just gonna go their bench, man. Period. I just say their bench. With us, yeah, it's hard with the Spurs because the way they play, they just have a. It's hard to say. The Spurs are one of those teams that, like the Knicks, they can go 8, 9, 10 deep. So I'm not
This could be
gonna.
a damn good series.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pinpoint one play. And I think with the Knicks, same thing. I think with us, I think our bench has to perform. Landry Shamet stay consistent. Maybe Novak gets off the bench. Novak can shoot. You know, he come off the bench. I think Jordan Clarkson has to play that defense he plays. You know,
I think it's imperative. You meant Kolick, but I know what you meant.
Tyler Cole.
Yeah, you said Novak. You had a Nick.
Oh, did I say Novak? Oh, I was thinking about Novak because Novak's been one of the guys at the games. And
no, Novak, it's all good, bro. It's all good, bro. I know exactly what you meant when you said it. So I'm gonna flip one on you, Idris. We all look alike, don't we?
Yeah, hell yeah, I told you. See, y'all better start listening to me. I told you. Like, go ahead, man.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Now
I know what you meant, though. I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Get canceled. That's okay. We'll come back. We'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back bigger and better.
Nah, so OG Anunoby to me is going to be massive in this series for the Knicks. Julian Champagne, we'll figure out how the pronunciation is supposed to go before game one. I think Landry Shamet, you got to hope, can continue his hot shooting carrying over from the Eastern Conference Finals because he's going to get some big minutes. And, you know, something that does worry me, and I'm not going to sit here and act like it doesn't. We know that Jalen Brunson gives up a lot of height in general when he's doing his little teardrops, things of that nature. I think it is imperative, and Karl Anthony Towns has to be the guy, as well as Mitchell Robinson, has to be the guy that makes Wemby really, 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 really run the floor. Because I don't want to see a situation where, similar to what happened in '99, where Duncan and Robinson are just having their way in the paint. But that's just not the same strength. You know, we didn't have Ewing for that. You know, they were doing this at the expense of like Chris Dudley and Marcus Camby. It's not the same thing. No knock on Camby, but you know, Dudley starting at center was a huge mismatch disadvantage for the Knicks.
And Dudley was a poor shooter. He wasn't like Mitch, where you can throw him alleys and stuff. He was physical, played defense, shot block, but
he was all heart. He played with diabetes his whole career.
Yes, people don't realize that. But I think what
Dudley, my goodness, what Shaq did to him, Dudley is a strong man to even show his face again.
Shouts out to Dudley that he's like, hell nah, you ain't gonna embarrass me. But
Chris Dudley adopted that New York attitude. He was down to fight anybody.
He was down to fight anybody.
He might have been down. He might have been down to die too, because Shaq would have killed him.
Shaq would have killed him. But you know, I think what makes him and Mitch different. I think Mitch. I'm not gonna say Mitch is tougher. I think they both are tough. But Mitch brings a little bit more. For Mitch, they said Mitch's only problem is the foul shots. Only problem.
But I've said this to you, Idris, over the years.
Yeah.
Particularly this particular basketball season, all season long. Because this wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. The Knicks, in both our opinions, underachieved in the regular season and should have won 60 games or close to it and won the Atlantic Division. Neither of those things happened.
Right.
The Knicks, after game 3 of Atlanta, just locked in and have been playing their best basketball in God knows how many years. Got to go back to 93, in my opinion.
I think that Atlanta series changed. I think that when us coming back the way and the way we demolished them in the end, I think that was the turning point with us. Okay, we started slow with Cleveland. I'm not Cleveland. With Cleveland.
Atlanta.
Cleveland. Yeah, I'm back. With Cleveland. Yeah, with Philly, I had no doubt about Philly.
No,
But we
Philly,
started.
I was not worried about in the least. I mean, I didn't think we were going to sweep them either, but
Yeah, I didn't either.
this is my thing.
Hmm.
One thing that the Knicks have got to account for, and it's
Yeah,
something that they got lucky with a little bit in these playoffs because teams it aligned with teams missing shots.
yeah.
If you leave the Spurs unaccounted for beyond the
Oh
arc,
my goodness.
they're going to make you pay.
Yeah, they're gonna make you
The
pay.
Knicks were fortunate that the Cavs just couldn't shoot the ball well. The
Yeah,
Knicks were fortunate, and I'm not saying the Knicks aren't playing good defense, but sometimes you got to cheat a little to kind of hope that they're going to miss, and you can kind of get numbers and get on the boards a little quicker. The Knicks
yeah,
have got to play man to man in this series. I mean, they're going to do zone looks, they're going to switch things up.
yeah.
But what I do like about this series going in for the Knicks is that I don't think you're going to have another stink bomb for the first 3 quarters like you did in game one of the ECF because the Knicks already learned their lesson.
And we didn't have
Um,
as much of a layoff either. The layoff
no,
was much
that's
shorter.
but
Yeah,
one thing that Jalen Brunson said, and it's true, is that part of coming back in game one was the fresh legs. And as this
yeah,
series endures and this series continues to move, I understand the Spurs are young,
yeah,
but the Knicks are going to have the fresher legs. And I do
yeah.
think the Knicks, with the floor spacing, with the way that they've been able to do what they do, this is going to be a phenomenal series.
Yeah, I'm glad. And with me with SGA, like I said at the top of the show, great player, great skills, great the whole thing. But because I've never been a hater of the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's one of the teams I'm like, yeah, I hope wish him success. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't like his style of play with the flopping. I mean, the
Yeah.
deliberate flopping. I
Yes.
don't like it. I mean, LeBron flopped and it looked obvious.
Like people could talk
But
about Jalen Brunson. It's all part of the craftsmanship of being a good scorer, but
but when you just drop, when you just drop, that's different. Jalen Brunson, at least he gets a little contact. Even LeBron is the flopping king. But at least LeBron, at least the contact. It's wet contact, it's nothing sometimes. But SGA, his stuff is just real. His is worse than LeBron's. He just dies. This life just loses, just falls out of his body as soon as he shoots. I was watching videos this morning, him flopping, and I said, "This is an embarrassment. It just looks like, and he's gonna hurt someone because he's gonna do that flopping thing, and someone's gonna be looking at the basket, look at the ball go to the basket, and they're gonna step and they're gonna turn their ankle, you know, and it's gonna hurt him. It's gonna hurt a player. What if it's like the eighth player on the court, and he's flopping, and this eighth player who doesn't get that much time, he gets out there, turns the ankle, breaks the ankle because this guy's flopping. And Adam Silver sees it. And this is what angers me about the NBA. And I don't mean to get on my soapbox, but this is what angers me about the NBA. I'm like, you see this egregious flopping going on. It's just so obvious. Like, God, they come on. And you're not doing nothing about it. I say these guys flop like that. You give them a freaking technical foul, 2 shots. If they do it twice in a game, they're rejected. And if it continues, you start taking games away. You start taking paychecks. And I ain't talking about 1,000. You take about a good 50,000. Take 100,000 because this is messing up the game, bro. It looks horrible watching this guy shoot. I mean, he has a cool stroke. I mean, don't get me wrong. The guy has a sweet stroke. No homo. He got a sweet stroke. Because I know people, he's about a sweet stroke. He has a smooth game. But that flopping looks so obvious.
you ready to laugh at me?
Of course. I'm always down for laughing. Let's go.
The reason I left
Yeah.
here, let me just show you the outside here real quick. I'm visiting some friends. I needed some work done on my car.
Yeah.
And just kind of regrouping. I was a little under the weather in addition to that. You
You
see
still
this out
sound a
here?
little,
Can
still
you
sound
see
a little
that,
under the
or
weather.
is the sun smacking too hard?
Oh, no, I see it. That's,
All right, so
that's
that's
beautiful, man.
basically cows and farm and things of that nature, and that's their property line. So,
Oh
as
man.
you can tell, I'm in Florida and it's really hot out here.
Yeah.
So, I like to go outside.
And my
I
dumb
don't
ass
like,
coming in July.
but there's the thing. My iPhone got too hot, so it kicked me out, and I put the this is where I put the
Yeah.
iPhone.
Yeah.
I put the iPhone right up in here.
Oh, okay.
But I think we pretty much are on a wrap today, unless if there's something else you wanted to add. This is my last thought.
Yeah.
My good friend Angel, who helped me out with my car yesterday. I'm actually close to Brett's house. He's about 20 minutes away. He's in the same town as my friends here. Um, Angel said, "Who are you rooting for, Rich?" I said, "I'll be honest, Angel. Both these teams present different problems, and sometimes you got to be careful what you wish for." And that's me being showing a grand amount of respect for what Victor Wembanyama is capable of. But I still believe in my team, and I think the Knicks are going to find a way. I'm not going to get into my prediction until we get a slightly closer the next 48 hours to the series, but I really like the Knicks' chances.
Well, I'm gonna give my prediction.
Let's go.
Knicks. Knicks in 5, baby.
Oh my.
That's how I said
Uh,
it.
all right, let me just say what I want to say. Knicks in 6. This is my prediction. Knicks win game 1. San Antonio wins game 2. Knicks win 3 and 4. San Antonio possibly blows out the Knicks in game 5, which will be their final game in front of their home crowd. In front of the greatest fans in the NBA, the New York Knicks win a classic nail biter at MSG and hoist their first NBA title since 1973.
Yay, yay.
Oh man, I'm getting chills just thinking about it, Idris. If you haven't already, please make it a point to like and subscribe to the channel, the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Check out Talk of New York, where the show also drops. It's on Facebook, the Talk
Yes,
of New
sir.
York. Check that out.
Yes,
For your
sir.
Yankees fix, make it a point to subscribe or rather join in on
Mm-hmm.
Facebook, Yankees Daily. If you are a diehard Yankee fan, or even if you're a Yankee hater, we kind of welcome all. If you want to have some good NFL talk, right now things are quiet, but the NFL season is not that far away. Check out NFC Beast on Facebook. Shouts out Sylvia Sneed, Keith Woolridge, Eric Billups, and the crew.
Yes, sir.
Um, Check out our friends at the Casual Convo Show every Monday and Wednesday, 8 to 10 p.m. Check out our
Mm-hmm.
buddy Johnny Nast on the Basement Show. Check out the Make It Count podcast with Sneaky G, strong Giants fan in cowboy country. I've had the privilege and pleasure of joining him in recent weeks here and there. Really
Oh,
good dude, really
Sneaky's in
fun
Texas?
show. Sneaky's in Texas.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh
Yeah,
man.
Q and I appeared on his show a couple weeks back. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah. I
Uh,
thought Sneaky was on the East Coast. Didn't even know he was in Texas. Oh
Nah,
wow.
brother. He lives out there. He's a huge, huge Giants fan.
Good. Represent Sneak.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. But until next time, he is Idris. I am Richie. Announcements to come for our next show. And a lot of the announcements will be going down on our shorts. So definitely check that out. Richie X Jr. Sports Podcast on YouTube. Idris, any final thoughts?
Oh yes, I do. Shouts out Amanda Serrano. I call her the GOAT. She's one win away from having the most knockouts in female boxing, and I feel she's the GOAT. She's gonna retire after this year. Great champion, 7 world champions, titles in 7 divisions. Golly, the girl's great. She's won in MMA. Yeah. Shouts up to her. One last night. She said she wants to fight a few more times before the year is out and then retire. So she's looking at the last 2 big fights. Let's
The
go.
best compliment I could give Amanda Serrano is even in defeat, she's must see TV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Similar to
And
the way I felt about a Manny Pacquiao, because even
yeah,
when Pac-Man loses, he gives the fans always a great show.
loves the fan. Yeah, and they love the fans. Shouts out to Amanda Serrano, man. Um, yeah, big ups to her.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, last thing, Idris, do
Hmm.
you think this Jay-Z little tirade is going to produce a new album in the next few months?
Who knows with Jay Z? Jay Z is so cryptic. Jay-Z's so cryptic. I
Yeah.
think so because before 444, he kind of did something similar like to this. So I think so because guys like Jay Z, it's like Michael Jordan. It's just like guys in sports who are great at what they do. They just can't leave. They get
Right.
that itch. They just take time off.
Right.
Because remember, Jay Z left before. He left twice before. And I just think it's that itch. And I think it's the right time for him to come back with an album. Because I know he mentioned about battle rapping, how it don't really mean anything anymore because it's so violent and da da da. And he
And
made
the
sense.
other part is Versus has kind of changed the game on that
Yeah,
angle of it because I'm a hip hop purist, I'm a hip hop fan, and there's
yeah,
like, excuse me, there's like certain beefs, and I'm gonna keep this clear, keep it on wax always. But like you look at when Jadakiss semi-aligned with Ja Rule and Joe on the New York album, or the New
yeah.
York track, I should say.
No, yeah,
Um, that obviously brought in 50 Cent, and then 50 started beef with Joe and Jada. The one with Joe was actually something to worry about because I really
yeah,
thought that could have turned violent. Thankfully, it didn't.
yeah,
And then ultimately they made peace with having a dual love for Chris Lighty when they were honoring him. And good
yeah,
job, gentlemen, on both your behalves to put that shit to bed.
yeah.
But the point I'm making is M, who is ever so close to 50, did not jump into that at all.
Right,
And not saying M had to, because it wasn't his problem or his beef. I mean,
right.
M, it's interesting. 50's beefing with Joe. And on Joe's album, where he disses 50, he had Eminem on the Lean Back remix.
Ain't that something?
It's a weird world entertainment, but what I'm saying is I would have loved to see Jadakiss and Eminem go at it battle style, not because they don't like each other, not because they have any issues, just because it would have been great for the fans.
Yeah. I think with M, and this is what I like about M. Like M is no doubt M is lyrically a freaking giant. Okay, there's no doubt.
No question, no
And
question. We have to give him that.
I think with M, and this is not calling him soft. I think M goes after the guys who are like, you don't need to be here because you're messing up the game, which I like the guys like Drake and stuff like that. I think he goes after the guys who are in the game to corrupt. That's why I don't think he goes against a guy like Nas.
But
But Nas did this him. Yeah,
one thing that I don't like about him
yeah,
is like, so you're starting beef with the dude from House of Pain that ended up being an Everlast.
yeah. I liked him too.
You questionably bit the style of Cage. If you don't know,
Yeah,
maybe you should,
okay, yep,
questionably.
yep.
Um,
We're going to talk about it.
I know that I'm probably in the minority of people who believe this, but if I hear Killshot or if I hear Machine Gun Kelly's diss, I actually find Machine Gun Kelly's diss a little more entertaining.
I did too. I thought it was
Okay.
better. I thought it was better actually.
The
The
point I'm
M.
making is like there was some truth to what Machine Gun Kelly said. Last time you saw 8 Mile, you were on a treadmill.
Yeah,
Can anyone else get some food in their mouth? Like the way he was going at him. The
yeah,
point I'm trying to make, Em, is like it's okay to get out of your comfort zone and
hmm
actually challenge people that are on your level, as
I would like to
opposed.
see it.
It's like the Floyd Mayweather thing. Like you should be
Yeah,
fighting Pacquiao when Pacquiao's in his prime, but he's going to go take these mid card, you know, middle of the road contenders to just kind of and sometimes with M. But the one that turns me off with M the most,
yeah.
not get it. It could have been bleeding into some of his harder times, with some of his well documented issues. But like when
Yeah.
you're beefing with Mariah Carey, bro, like come on, bro.
Yeah.
Or beefing with
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera, like come on, bro.
But you know who he probably regretted beefing with? One Michael Jackson.
Oh, you ain't lying. Tell the
Because
people,
Michael
Idris.
because Michael Jackson said, I got a way to beat you. He went on and bought his whole shit, his whole catalog. There you go.
Mike was not one to play with. And legend has it to anybody that thinks that the late great Michael Jackson didn't have hands.
Oh, you better ask somebody.
Michael Jackson, legend has it, put hands on Tupac,
Tupac. And a lot of
which
people with some clout, like Quincy Jones, a lot of them said that Michael Jackson put his hand. People think Michael Jackson was soft because of the way he looked. No, I seen videos of Michael Jackson in his limo and doing stuff. Michael Jackson, and y'all forgive me when I say this, y'all, but Michael Jackson was a real nigga.
I want to ask you
Michael
this
Jackson
about
was, yeah,
Michael Jackson. Every
yeah,
time I think we're out, and that's okay. I'm off. You're off. It's okay.
yeah.
I
I'm
do want
always
to ask you
off, but
this,
yeah.
Idris.
Uh,
Do you think Michael Jackson, Dirty Diana, do you think in some way, shape, or form that was his uh, healing slash screaming out thing over his love for Diana Ross?
I think so. Cause
Mike
he
and Diana
really,
were involved on low key.
it wouldn't surprise me. I'll put it that way. Because he really loved Diana Ross. And back in the day, Diana Ross was a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Now, did you see?
Diana,
Now, did you see a? Now, did you see? I think it's Diana Ross's son who has so many similar features to Mike.
yeah. But I'm going to fill you in on
I thought
something.
that
A
was
lot of people
interesting.
don't,
And once again, I don't trust everything I see because it could be like produced via AI, but it did look interesting.
yeah. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I wouldn't put anything past anyone, bro. I'll put it that way. I wouldn't put anything past anyone.
Another thing that's interesting, since we're talking about Mike, we
Yeah,
might as well talk about Janet. Talking about Mike, might as well talk about Janet.
yeah.
Tupac was subjected to being screamed before the kissing scenes and
Yes.
the romantic scenes with Janet Jackson in cult classic
Yeah.
Poetic Justice. That was a damn good movie, by the way.
It
One of
was.
the finest acting jobs of Tupac's career, if you ask me. It
Yeah.
really showed just the drive and the want, need, and desire to do better as a single man in a very
Yep.
oppressed place, and just wanted to be the best father and the best person he could be. And man, Pac was a great actor, man.
He was. He really was, man. Um, I don't know what my favorite one was, favorite movie. I think the funniest one I think was Gridlocked. I love that with him and Tim Roth when they were both heroin addicts. I
Well,
think that was my
they
favorite
played
role of
a
him.
yeah, did a phenomenal job.
I
I would
think that
have
was
to
my favorite
go
role.
all the way back. I think the best compliment I could give Tupac is
Yeah,
that he was never in a role that I didn't vibe with. I think he was great
exactly.
in Juice. I think Juice put him on the map, but unfortunately, Juice, similar to like a Heath Ledger playing the Joker, it
Yeah,
had a profound effect on regular life after that.
yeah,
You
it did.
know, and at 25 years old, when you consider how much that man did, it's complicated to say the least.
And just
The
imagine
thoughts
if
of
he
somebody
lived,
that
dude.
young.
Just
Yeah,
imagine if he
I think,
lived, because his
yeah.
acting career was going up, dude. He was just imagine it, and that's what I hated because had this
No
man
knock on
lived,
Ice Cube,
dude,
no knock on Snoop, no knock on other rappers that became actors. His roles were profound. His roles were impactful. It wasn't the same thing.
right? Because if you look at how
Like
he
you can
okay,
see Snoop
look,
in a funny movie.
yeah, he played this like if you break down, and we need to
I
do
think,
another movie show.
yeah,
If you break down what he did, okay, in uh Juice, he played like a little poor gangster. That you know what I mean? He played a gangster guy. Same thing in Above the Rim. He played more like a big head guy.
Idris.
But
Unfortunately,
then,
Idris.
yo,
Yeah,
I'm here. Can you hear me?
no.
Can you hear me?
I'm getting what you're saying. No, yeah. We're okay. We're just getting some static and friction. Yeah. I hear you. I
Oh,
hear you.
oh. He's played a lot of roles, man. But
What
yeah, go ahead.
what I'm getting at is like the role of
hmm
Lucky that he played in rather Poetic Justice, or even
Well,
like Bishop
yeah,
in Juice,
yeah,
or his role in Above the Rim. I think he mastered every role, or even in Gang Related, even in when he played a recovering heroin addict in Gridlocked.
right.
Pac had profound roles, and it's not a knock on other rappers who got into the movie stuff, but I don't
Yeah.
think anybody hit it like that because personally, I think if Pac was still alive,
Hmm.
he would have been in much more mainstream, massive roles where this guy
Yeah.
probably would have hung his hat on running a company to put other people on and always probably a big point of activism. But I don't think
Yeah.
that he would have been as active a rapper as he was in the final year on Earth. I really don't.
I agree. I think he. I
But
think he would have been an LL
gone
Cool
too
J
soon,
type.
like so many other greats, just gone too soon. And before we get out of here, we talk about mental health a lot.
Yeah.
We talk about mental health a lot here on the show, and I do want to give some roses to the late great Claude Lemieux, phenomenal hockey player. He was a guy who always gave back to the
Yeah.
game, and I think it's just a clear and concise example that you never truly know what people are going through. And the family of Claude Lemieux donated his brain to find out what was going on in reference to CTE and other things. And it's just hopefully something that will maybe benefit, help protect other athletes down the road. But Claude gave back. Idris, you still with me?
Yeah. I'm here.
Idris,
I'm
you
here.
still with? Okay, I just wanted.
Yeah.
Did you get
I'm
what I
here.
said there? Did that come
Yeah.
across?
But yeah. Yeah. I heard you.
Yeah, we're out in the
I was
country,
listening.
so I
I was
some of
listening.
these. Yeah,
Dude, when you talk stuff like baseball and hockey, I listen. I don't care what level.
yeah.
I listen. So
But I
no,
think that's a
I'm here.
wrap. I think we got it today.
Let's go. Hell yeah. Go Knicks. Go
Yeah, I think
Yankees.
I think it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap for today. But like I said, just I want to remember him more for how he lived, not for how he went.
Yeah.
Because how you
Yeah.
go,
Rest in peace,
bigger
Paul
part
New, man.
of the story. I think that's the best way I want to leave that.
Yeah. I agree.
A great rest of your week, everybody, and we'll be back soon. Announcements to come. We out.
Big Nick energy, we ain't playing nice. Kings of New York, ain't no rolling dice. Flexing on these bitches, we the real deal. Ain't no stopping us, this is how we feel. The Bronx, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the island of Queens, we ballin' hard. Fulfilling all our dreams, thugging through the hustle. Got that grit and grind in this Big Nick energy, we forever shine. So let them know we rockin'. From the garden to the booth, Knicks in the building, bringing straight up truth. With our heads held high, watch us rise and transcend. Big Nick energy, this is just the begin. Big Nick energy.